Hey, Jimmy with Cuff and Stuff. Well, best laid plans, right? You've heard that? Yeah. Well, we've had this plan for a couple of weeks to do this cook today. And of course, we did the right thing. We didn't check on the weather and see what today was gonna be. We had it all planned out. We were gonna do the cook in the smokehouse. I was gonna use that stick burner and throw wood all day long, get all that good wood flavor. But as you can see, it's 34 degrees and raining, typical Carolina winter, and it's cold out here. So we're gonna punt. Sorry, smokehouse, we're not gonna use you today. As you can hear, we got the pit boss going. So we're gonna tough it out. We're gonna put the pit boss on. We're gonna watch it on our phone inside while we watch football today. Like I said, tough it out. This is Brunswick Stew. Now I use 3 different kinds of meat. I use pork, beef, and chicken. And I've had several questions and comments about you didn't show us what you did with the meat last time you cooked this and whatnot. So, all right, here's step 1. We're gonna cook the meat. So, hang tight. Okay, well, this is the meat that's gonna go into Brunswick Stew. I've got 10 pounds of Boston butt pork. I've got 4 pounds of chuck roast beef, and I've got 4 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breast chicken. Pork, beef, and chicken. This is gonna go in it. All right, so this is kind of gonna be a competition seasoning that I'm gonna use. And what's it gonna be? Well, okay. Well, for the chicken, it's gonna be Uncle Steve's competition bird shake. All right, so let's get a nice coating of competition bird shake. All right, we'll turn him over, get both sides. All right, for the beef, again, Uncle Steve's competition cow powder. Another competition shake. And these are a competition grade, so you know it's good stuff. Get a nice healthy coat on the beef. All right, all we got left is this great big old fat boy here. Pork. What are we using? Competition pig shake. As I said, it's all competition. So let's get a nice healthy dose. Now this is wet enough. All 3 of them are. You see I didn't use a binder, and that's something that I don't do a whole lot of. I don't use a whole lot of binders unless it's something that is just particularly dry, then I don't. You see, I'm leaving the fat cap on it. I want it good and moist. Now when this cooks down, I'm gonna end up pulling all 3 of these meats. So as I pull it, I'll take any leftover fat that doesn't cook down. I'll pull it out, throw it out. That's not gonna go in my Brunswick stew. Let's let this hang out for just a little bit with the competition shake. And when we put it on, I'll bring you back. Okay, we've got the pit boss up to temp. We're gonna be cooking at 250 today. So let's open her up. And I'm gonna start with the pork butt. It's gonna go right here. Then I'm gonna add the beef. The chuck roast is next. And then finally, over here, we're gonna put the chicken. And you see this 1150, it handles this just fine. It's got plenty of room. All right, to that. So, let's see. I'm gonna add number one, I'm gonna put this probe down in the middle of that one. And then number two, I'm gonna put in the middle of my roast, like that. And this appears to be the fattest chicken. Let me slide him back just a little bit. Get all these wires inside. All right, there you go. Close him up. And we've started. Okay, well, Pit Boss says we're getting close on our temp on the chicken. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take the Thermopro out. Let's start checking this chicken. We're about 170 on a lot of it here. Okay. All right. So let's just take it off. All right. Close it back up. We're gonna let the beef, here's the chicken, we're gonna let the beef and the pork continue cooking. We'll check on those when we start getting close. We'll bring you back. All right, as you see, we've put on our liners, and we're just gonna start with this chicken, and we're just gonna pull it apart. I wanted this chicken to cook apart. That's why I used boneless, skinless, so I could just shred it like this. So let me get this shredded up and we'll bring you back. Okay, well, Pit Boss says the beef done. Let's check this out. Handy dandy little Thermopro here. Oh yeah, we're already above 200. Okay, so let's take this out. Okay, well, Pit Boss is telling us we're in the about middle 160s here with our pork butt. So we're gonna take and we're gonna wrap him up. So we're gonna put him in this half pan. And put him in there like that. Put the probe back in him, close him up, and we're gonna let him finish just like that. All right, the Pit Boss is telling us it is time to pull the pulled pork. Oh yeah. Oh, I can tell. Oh yeah. It's like going into butter. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna pull this off, and then we're gonna shred it. We're gonna pull it by hand like we did the chicken and the beef. And once we start putting the Brunswick Stew together, we'll bring you back. Okay, well, it's the next morning. We moved inside. We're gonna eat this Brunswick stew for supper. So let's start putting it together. Okay, here's what we've got. We've got 6 small to medium size white onions in this pot. And we're gonna saute these in butter. Now, I've got half a stick to start with. This is a lot of onions, so let's cook these down. To start with, let me get them a little bit translucent and I'll bring you back. Okay, well, to our onions, I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. And I'm doing this the easy way. It may not look like it, but there we go. This is already minced up for us. You can see my onions are getting nice and translucent. They're even browning up just a little bit, and that's okay too. Be all right. So we're gonna turn this down, and we're gonna get to put this together. So I'll bring you right back. Okay, let's start putting this together. All right, I'm gonna add 4 cans of undrained whole kernel corn. I'm not gonna drain any of this. 3, 4. All right, 4 cans of cream style. That was whole kernel corn. This is cream style. We're gonna do 4 whole cans. You say, we like corn, huh? Okay, well, there's our corn. All right, next, lima beans. 4 cans of lima beans. All right, all of these are regular size cans, okay? What brand you use is up to you. All right, this is crushed tomatoes, and you can see this is a large can. We're going with 4 large cans of crushed tomatoes. Okay, all our canned stuff. Next, our onions. These are the onions and garlic that we sauteed in butter. Let's put them in. All right, to that, we're gonna add, this is a 1/4 cup of Lea and Perrins. This is Worcestershire sauce. We're going to do motion at your Ring Video doorbell. We're going to do a tablespoon of black pepper, maybe just a touch more than that, and about the same. This is sea salt. Now, all of this is to taste, okay? So you may go more or less. I like to start out with that amount just because It's my base for this. As this cooks down and all these flavors go together, I can add more if it needs it. So here's what we've got left, and this is all of that meat that we cooked. Now I'm putting it in last on purpose because I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to use this. This is about a pound more meat than I normally use, but I wanted to try and see if I could get this all in there and make this, you know, traditionally Brunswick stew was a hunter stew. And when you made it, you used the meat that you had to go in it. So that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to use the meat that I have. I hope all this is going to go in it. And I know it's going to cook down a lot. But that's a roaster full. There is no doubt about it. This is a roaster full of meat. So now what I've got to do is mix it down, and I believe we're going to be just fine. Stir it up. Get all of this mixed in here. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn it on 350 degrees. Now this roaster does not heat from the bottom. It heats from the sides, and it keeps, you know how meat settles to the bottom, and it keeps from scorching that meat on the bottom of this roaster. So we're gonna go on and turn it up. That's on 350. And we're gonna let this cook for about 2 hours. And after that 2 hours, we're gonna come back and check on it and see where we are. And when I do, I'll bring you back. Okay, well, we've been just a little over 2 hours at 350. And you can see she's just bubbling away in here. So let's take and stir her up good. And we're well on our way to Brunswick stew. Oh my goodness. You ought to be here. You could smell it. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. At this point, I'm going to take and stir it up. I'm going to move it down to 325. And we're going to let it go at least another couple of hours and just let it simmer. Okay, well, we have let this simmer almost 5 hours. And here we go. I'm gonna get a big spoonful. All right. Well, let's try it. It smells so good. It's gonna be hot. Yep, that's it. I'm not going to add anything else to it. Well, there you go. That's Brunswick stew. That's this year's version. It's got a ton of meat in it. Thanks for sticking around, seeing how it turned out. If you haven't already, hit the circle on this side, subscribe. We'll have another video for you, just for you, on this side. Until next time, hang tight.